name is Tamer El-Diraby. I'm at the University of Toronto. The one thing I learned at U of T is that you should never be between people and their lunch. So I'll move forward quickly and ask anybody recognizes this image or picture. And because I did this with my students who are younger than me and you, they never knew it, so I give you a tip. I am Egypto-Canadian, as Ms. Heidi explained. So anybody recognizes what this picture is? It's actually a mountain range in Alberta. So it's not in Egypt, as many of you thought it's a pharaonic picture. It's a mountain range in Alberta taken from Google Earth. What happens is that this was discovered, the dot in the middle is an oil well. It's Alberta. And the road, the white line is a road going to that oil well. It was discovered by Google enthusiasts, just going through Google Earth and discovering it. And that's the whole point of my presentation today. People with the right technology can be very innovative. Because many of my students sleep after 10 minutes, I always give them the summary first. So the social media is not just for chatter. There is networks of people and ideas. And if we manage to analyze them and even foster them, we can make a lot of good. The idea or the main benefit behind this is not just knowing the ideas of people, but democratizing innovation, allowing people to tell us what they want in what is called reverse marketing. And instead of us selling the project to the people, people tell us what they want and we do it for them. People also can start to become decision makers, and you'll see some elements of that. And it's always good to think that we will give people this, and we'll give them the authority to do this and this and this. We'll give them the tools to do this and this. But on the other side, it's us, the people who are working behind the scene. This will be overwhelming if I ask you to do a YouTube thing, a Facebook, to get people engaged in your facility without tools that would help you do this. And the tool that's available for this is called Enterprise 2.0, which would allow you to manage all these social media in an easy way. The agenda, I'll be talking a little bit high level because I'm sure that if you are interested in the details of the project that we have with the MTO, I can send you a summary and you will be able to get it. But I'll talk about a little bit of a macro image and the futuristic image. Of course, I have information about the project. If I have time, I'll share it as much as I can. But I'll talk about the business analytics, which is providing business value from data. I will also talk about the social web, which is fundamentally the connection of people, not pages. The semantic web, which is trying to understand what's in a web page, understanding the meaning of text. The crowdsourcing, which basically allows the community, the knowledgeable community, to take over and decide. And then Enterprise 2.0, which is allowing the employees of a knowledge-savvy organization like MTO to be able to communicate in this atmosphere. Here is the fundamental definition of business analytics. It's basically trying to understand who are my customers through iterative use of data and stuff like that. I noticed that my students like, and like most engineers, like diagrams. So basically, if we go to the retail market, this is what we find. Retailers profile all the users and allow this profile to help them market to you. Here is the best example, is Target. Heidi talked about my wife being a shopaholic, so she's waiting for Target as nobody. But Target, in their fight against Walmart, they hired a statistical analyst. And they said, can you tell us what are the patterns of shopping in our customers? And he looked at many patterns, and one of them was, he discovered that pregnant women tend to shop more and spend more. And he looked at, they have this card where you look at what you are, who are you, what's your address. Every time the loyalty card, you swipe, a piece of data goes to Target. And he noticed that maybe because there is a big change, the needs for the baby, people are open to the future. They tend, women and their husband, tend to shop more if they are pregnant. And then the biggest task was, well, can you predict this? And he said, yes. The best time to target a woman with a specialized ad that would tell her this is available for you is during her first trimester. The only problem is they wanted to predict this based on her habits of buying. So obviously, for example, maybe the women were, instead of buying scented soap, they are buying non-scented products. He came up with a model, and Target started to campaign with a dedicated ad. So they mentioned the name of a lady, hello, Miss Such and Such. We are happy for your new event that's going to change your life, and we want to offer you these special deals. Long and behold, one day they received a call from an angry father, and he says, well, how dare you send such a suggestive ad to my teenager daughter? You would expect that. And the guy on the other line said, well, we're sorry, it's a statistical model, it's only good in 90% of the cases, we are sorry. The second day, the district manager calls this guy and say, I'm repeating our apologies. The guy said, well, I'm the one who should be sorry. Turned out that my daughter is pregnant. This is how strong the data that's available, and it's not only the impressive part is not the statistical thing, but the fact that it created business value to Target. So on the surface, Web 2.0, which is the social web, is basically chats, ideas, thoughts, YouTube, and stuff like that. But on the back, there is an extensive science behind it, a network science that looks at the algorithms, human behavior, and data analytics. Let me show you an example. This is some of the Twitter feeds that are available and who's tweeting to who. It looks very ugly. But as good engineers, if we have smaller algorithms to break the connection, who's tweeting to who at which time, in smaller things, and who is deciding what, we can find that this network is actually this network. This is the voting pattern of the US senators in 2008. Who's voting with who and who is not voting. At that time, McCain was running and he didn't want to vote with anybody. And you can see also that there are Lieberman and Sanders were in the blue section. Here is another study that's looking at human behavior. This study is out of Stanford. It's actually a game if you want to play it yourself or with your kids. It asks you, it looks at how people navigate the web. How can I write an interactive guide that would allow you to seamlessly go from one page to the other? And so it's a game. It tells you, start with this term, how can you end with this term? In this case, they are asking people to start with the term dik-dik, which is a small deer in Africa. And they want them to navigate their way in Wikipedia to Einstein. And so those smart people who went from dik-dik to water to electron to quantum mechanics managed to find Einstein. So they are following this, and every time somebody plays with this game, they add to the data. They reach this algorithm that will tell them how people navigate through the web. And don't ask me about these algorithms, I understand nothing of it. But every time you change a parameter in this algorithm, you see the accuracy, how is it changing. This is the algorithm that they are using to catch up cheaters on online games, and a variety of it. And this is the algorithm that is used to predict how people would recommend pieces of music. And this is a company that made billions out of it. This is the algorithms that would help you locate an ad on a web page. And this is a company that made billions out of it. What I'm trying to say is that social web and Web 2.0 is no longer just a chatter. It's not a place that you just go and update your status on Facebook. It's, yes, it is used in a variety of ways. In our context, in civil engineering, in transportation systems, in city management, it can be used to communicate with people. And so give them a chance to inform the citizens and receive feedback. This is the lowest level. The second level is to allow our employees to harness the knowledge, collaborate on building knowledges and understanding the new additions to knowledge. Also, crowdsourcing, getting information from the crowd. But also, we are seeing the dawn of a future trend where social media is used to help people make decisions from the bottom up. So here is the basic level of usage of communication. And you can see here, it's no longer like the old days. Here is the Department of Transportation in Kansas. Early on, they had a K-Talk, which is called, a website called K-Talk. And then when YouTube came, they developed their YouTube channel. When Facebook came, they developed their Facebook outlet. And then this is Pinterest, which is a new social media. So as you can see, they are catching up on the communication level. This is a company by a Canadian urban planner who lives in San Francisco, which is basically transferring the public consultation online. So here is the project. You can navigate through, you can fly through, you can add comments about things as you like, things that you don't like. You can add videos, you can share ideas, you can group people and stuff like that. And in the end, the company provides you with a tally of who joined, what is their profile, and what were their ideas. But the bigger trend, or the most important trend, is out of this thing is not these reactive techniques, it's the crowdsourcing, allowing people to find and give me the information. So we understand customers, we reach to the customers, we customize sales, and we reverse market, where people tell us what they want and we do it for you. Here is an example. Netflix is very famous for offering movies. And once you watch a movie, they suggest another one for you, because they have an algorithm. Which pattern do you like? Which director do you like? Which theme do you like? Which language do you like? And this algorithm has plateaued. They are no longer managing to reach exactly, expect exactly what you are going to like next. So they asked their engineers and they said, well, this is it. We cannot enhance it anymore. So they made a crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing means asking the crowd to help me. Competition. They said anybody who will take our algorithm, by the way, their algorithm is their most valuable asset in the company. They gave it away. And they said, anybody who can enhance it by 10% will get $1 million. About 132 entrants came. Teams from Australia to Canada to Hong Kong of mathematicians, statistical analysts, carpenters, doctors, you name it, came with a variety of ideas. They collaborated online, and one team managed to get to 10.05. They got $1 million. Here in Toronto, even back to our civil and more engineering dimension, the Gold Corp, a CEO found that they have reached kind of the limit in extracting gold from couple mines. And he talked to his engineers and his people and said, well, can't we get more gold? And they said, no, we exhausted our efforts, and now it's a losing trend. So this guy said, okay, well, we'll put 400 megabytes of our information online. That includes 3D images of the mines, chemical analysis, maps, GIS data, all the data. This guy's not just putting data online, he's putting gold online. And he said, anybody who would help us analyze this, find more gold, will get a prize of $575. I'm not sure why was it $575. They got about 1,000 submissions. Some of it were from MRI professors and doctors who know how to read 3D images. And they claim that they managed to find about 110 sites that they were not aware of in these mines to extract gold, and they may have reached about $6 billion in value. Here is back to our transportation domain. This is a software that is now commercially available. It's called C-Click Fix, where you get the people to work for you. People going through the city with their phones. All their phones have GPS. This software makes use of it. They take a picture of a broken curb, or a pothole, or a damaged guardrail, or a damaged garbage collector. They take these pictures, they upload it, and the software shows you as a decision maker where are the most areas with the most damage, and then you can use that as part of your asset management planning to say, well, we need to fix this street. So people are working for you. This is an even amazing technology that was developed by MIT and Princeton. There is technologies right now that would allow people to share, like at U of T, we are researching predicting accidents on the road based on predicting or tracking the number of phone calls made on the highway. If the phone calls are just evenly spread on the highway, or the use of the phone over the highway is evenly spread, the traffic is going well. But if they cram and come in one position, in one place, in the same spot, in the same time, most probably there is an incident. So by tracking this, you can predict that there is an accident. But here, this technology is even more interesting. This technology first tracks the location of the phones, where are you, and where are the other people around you. So it counts how many cars are there. Also knows the speeds of these cars. More importantly, it can take pictures of the red lights and predict the timing of the red light in this street. Using all this data, this app can tell you if you drive on 27 miles per hour, you'll never stop. And the reason is if you stop and go, you hurt the environment. So it collects data from everybody, from the red lights, crunches the number and tells you driving on 32 miles per hour, you'll never stop. So that's how we are reaching. We are getting information from the people, crowdsourcing. We're crunching the algorithms, delivering a business value. This is the US Department of Transportation website. They have a CIO, Chief Information Officer, and part of his mandate is to integrate crowdsourcing, Enterprise 2.0, and stuff like that. They have reached a level where they are asking people to design the law. Here is a website where they are asking people, this is the current regulation about airport inspection. Tell us what you want to change it to. And the analytics goes behind that to see what people are looking for. It's the new voting system. It's the new community meeting system. When people comment, we are not just crunching the number of comments and saying who is there. We can understand what they are saying. This is the semantic profile of your tweet. We can tell who are you, where are you writing a tweet that is sad or happy? Critical or negative? We can understand the text. Fundamentally, we have, as Target did, an analysis of the ontology of what you are saying, the semantics of what you are saying. Who are you? What is your profile? Are you into environment? Are you into business? Are you a student? Are you a man? Are you a woman? And the product scenario. Would you like to have a St. Clair project near you or not? What kind of scenarios do we have for this? How can we design it? Should we build an LRT or a subway? What kind of alternatives were there? And what is the function of this product to you? What is the function of the transportation product to you? And what is the impact that it has? Which profiles would add to this? And which communication means can add to this? So we are semantically profiling people and semantically profiling their comments. So we have the social web where ideas are coming. We have the semantic web which understands the meaning, and now we will try to get them to work together. In summary, what I'm trying to reach here is that what we have here is a social listening. You seek the information. Then you analyze it with a variety of algorithms and tools. You model the context and transfer it into a business rule that would add value to you, and then you adapt your workflow to it. So that's the whole cycle of a knowledge organization. You social listening, is it to community or to your people? There are wikis and tools that would allow us to canvass you for problems, issues, whether you want to know or not. Some of it is directly by you, some of it by you allowing us to analyze your emails. And all of that gets into a network that would allow us to understand where is the knowledge, where are the issues, what changes needs to be done, and what business value can be added to our thing. So let me show you an example. This is the tweets that relates to Crosstown. They look very horrible. What can you make out of this? Okay? This is how people, the tweets, every tweet and everybody responding to it in Crosstown, which is a blog here in Toronto about the LRT system, Crosstown. And what are the comments that people are saying, what are their tweets, who's tweeting to who, who's responding to who. Here's the network of these tweets about Crosstown. Well, it doesn't make any sense, but when we go into analyzing this, we found that here are the people who are tweeting back and forth. And we looked at their rankings, a variety of algorithms that bisects this network. So I'll show you here what we found. This is the crosstown thing, and you can see once we get inside that Metrolinx, TTC chair, other people are coming as key nodes in this. So Metrolinx, the chair of TTC, other people who are key actors. We also, if we want, we can analyze their sentiment, what they are saying, why and when, and what is the response to that, and what is the community response to what they say. We found that we have counselors, mayor, TTC managers, public, and media there. We went even further to look at a variety of measures to highlight their connectivities. And surprisingly, we found that there is connectivity here, a variety of different patterns of connectivity between people in their discussion. So we found sub-communities in this, some for, some against, some bewildered, some knowledgeable, some not knowledgeable. And here is the full network. Who is talking to who about what? We found that we can divide it into 4 smaller networks, and we can work on analyzing it further. One of my graduate students is working on this right now to understand how can we advise the city of Toronto about the crosstown system and the future, because we don't want to be repeating the same mistake again. So we are now at a stage that at least academics say, you design, defend, and then build. So there is a cynical view of our community meetings as we know it, we do it, you just approve it. And so we build, cancel, rebuild, and recancel. And the LRT, the Eglinton subway, and the Oakville stations are just case in points. So the community is just taking it. But I don't think the community, especially of the future, is going to be happy with that. The community of the future is not going to sit idle. They are a little bit advanced of us right now. So what we have is that this contrast between a community that, yes, is chaotic in their ideas. If we open this whole thing to the community and online chatting and stuff like that, all the ideas are going to be chaotic. As you saw it, it will certainly be chaotic. And on the other side, we, the public officials, are sitting with all the constraints, the issues, the problems that we know. So how are we going to work between these two? It's very chaotic. Well, remember, we could use some tools to understand what the community wants. We have models that can help us build algorithms of where consensus is moving. What is their sentiment according to this project or to that project? Okay. So the question is, if community comes up with ideas, problems, issues, can they go to the MTO website or the TTC website and study what is the advantage of the LRT versus the subway? What is the advantage of St. Clair versus no St. Clair? Can we target them with the right ads that would help them, that they click and see how their house price is going to go up or down? What is the CO2 emissions? We can do that. And by targeting, I don't mean the English word. I mean discovering which one of these people is pregnant, what they want, and allowing them to understand and make decisions that are better. In fostering those who can innovate to come up with ideas that we never thought about, that is context sensitive and aware of their problems, giving them the power not only to understand, but to innovate. So, yes, the process is chaotic, but chaos is innovative. And so, in addition to this chaotic community, which is mixed ideas, mixed views, and the formal ways of us there, if we can give them targeted apps and know that the new community is very savvy, they will use apps very effectively. If we give them those targeted apps, and eventually what we'll be able, hopefully, is that we will reach a consensus where the community is in harmony. Once we let them understand, study the things, analyze the things, collaborate together, find their ways, open their own businesses on top of what is going to happen enhance their life on top of what we are designing, we will have a harmony of a community. So, of course, we will hide from them the social web and the semantic web. These are hidden from them. They will only go to our website, see a plan, and be able to click on it and understand things, redesign it, analyze it, and work on it. With that, from the kiosk and the order, we will be able to find the innovation that we are looking for. So the ultimate goal is to make innovation a democracy, to allow everybody to lead their life, to tell me how they want their street to be and link them together. What I'm trying to say is that the world is changing, and we need to move forward with it, allow people to understand, empower our employees with Enterprise 2.0, build our systems to configure these ways. By the way, where do you think this picture is? Yes. So almost when everybody would say, well, it's somewhere in the Middle East, given that you are from Egypt. No, it's actually Phoenix. So it's very close to us here. This change is inevitable. Remember, Egyptians are typically reactive people. They don't revolt. But lately, they actually revolted. They typically don't revolt. And they revolted on Twitter. So this change is coming. And as I'm trying to say, even people in the Middle East who are not that active have revolted. This is the Twitter feeds and the connections, the intensity of Twitter just before the resignation of the ex-president in Egypt. And you'll see here that it was okay, but as the time progressed, people started to look at this. As you can see, we can look at the dynamics of the network, who's tweeting, why, based on what event, and what is their interrelationship. So it's not just a map or basically a network. We're looking at the dynamics, and we can zoom in to understand who are the variety of people who are working together in this regard. As you can see, we see an evolution of ideas, evolution of thoughts, evolution of attitude, and evolution of decisions, but more importantly, an evolution of innovation, consensus out of the chaos. Thank you very much.